Hi everyone, Mark Charette from WorkPix360. Going to be showing you a new tripod that I've just purchased. Well, it's actually not a new, as in like it's not brand new, not newly invented. It's been around for a while. It's called a Overlook stand from Manfrotto, and I'll be doing an unboxing so that you can see what it looks like and setting it up. The reason why I purchased this stand is because of the fact that it's quite tall. It's in fact 7.3 meters or 24 feet in height, and that'll provide the opportunity to get shots that are very similar to what you might think would look like a drone shot, yet will go into places where drones may not be able to go, such as a no-fly zone. So this is going to alleviate some of those challenges for those people who do want to have the very much more appreciated overlooking effect. It won't be flyover because it can't move. Of course, it is a stand, so the camera needs to stay attached to it. It can't move. But it will actually be able to also spin, which will allow me to do 360 photography, or also known as virtual tour photography. So that'll actually add an additional dimension to the height in which I can actually shoot these 360-degree virtual tour images, primarily for large spaces and large areas. So I think you'll find this quite fascinating to see how this will work out, and let's just get on with it. Okay, so this is the stand in the box, brand new. It was actually an open box. I should mention that it was purchased from a retailer who had it, I believe, on display. I don't believe they would have had it on display at its full height because it's probably way too high for them to actually show at this height. As you can tell, the box is quite tall. It's basically my height, and the package is supposed to come out. I hope everything is in fact as it should be in the box. We're going to find out whether or not they shipped it thoroughly. Hoping that they have. There should actually be not just the tripod, or stand I should say, I keep calling it a tripod, it's in fact a stand. But I believe it'll also have a set of guy wires that should be included, or guy cables. I hope they're actually wires. And along with that, there should also be a level that you can attach to the side of the unit to make sure that the pole in the center column remains perfectly level. All right, so that's what the stand box looks like. It's quite large. It comes in at, I believe it was 11 kilos was the weight, which is why they even have the caution status symbol for 10 to 16 kilos for shipping. So it's quite a large box. All right, so we're going to start by getting this opened up and showing you what it looks like. Okay, once again, we're going to get this box opened up. I think you'll agree that height-wise, this is quite a big unit. All right, just gonna put this safety lever back away. And I'm just going to pull this out. And here we have the stand, and I'm thinking that we've got the stand, but we may actually have some missing parts. It looks like possibly the cables are missing, or is that what's at the end of the box over here? It might still actually be in the box. Let's just see. They might be still in there. Nope. Here we go. Cables included. So, package of 3 cables are included with this, and we'll be covering that in a second. But first things first, let's just review what this stand includes. All right, so just gonna get these off the ground because it's a little bit wet down here. All right, So here's the stand. I can see that the leveling unit, the small little leveling unit, is included. A couple of little set screws of some type. I'm not sure exactly what those are going to be used for. We'll find out shortly. But it's sturdy, got to tell you that. A couple of things to be aware of that make this stand truly a camera stand as opposed to a lighting stand, because it does resemble very much what a lighting stand would be like, is that it actually has 3 leveling legs on it, which allows you to make sure that if you've got an uneven surface, you can get the stand as level as possible. The other thing is it comes with a Manfrotto head designed for a camera, along with the guy wire clip. And it turns out, actually, I'm very pleased to see that the guy wire clip spins on axis. It's not permanently attached, but actually has a little leg or a little clamp just below it. That means that I'll be able to actually clamp down the pole and still rotate it if I'm doing a 360, and have the guy wires in position to help prevent the pole from swaying too much if it's a windy or a high risk environment. So what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to try to back the camera up as far as I can and start to lift this thing up and give you an idea of exactly how tall it is. I don't know whether or not you're going to be able to see it, but I'm going to try to position it such that you can actually see exactly how high it is. My backyard here area may not be big enough, but we'll give it a go. All right, so I think this is probably going to work out reasonably well. Hopefully you're going to be able to see what I'm seeing. All right, so here we go. This is a bit of an uneven area here, so this should give you an idea exactly what happens when you get this set up. So the first step would be to unclamp the main portion, which actually has 2 clamps, top and bottom. And it looks like the legs have been left loose on a couple, so on this one anyway, so we're going to tighten that back up. Sure got some weight to it. There we go. Now you'll notice that the pole actually can rest on the ground, and there's a cover on the bottom of that. And right now I can tell you that if I put this clamp, looks like this clamp is actually broken. It is snapped, so I will end up having to have a chat with our dear supplier for that, because this clamp is actually broken. But I can tell you right now, just holding it up against the side of the unit, it's definitely not on axis. So I'll be able to loosen up a leg. I'm just going to pull this up and tighten it up so it's not sitting on the ground. Nice and tight. This is very well built. I'm just leveling one leg right now. I've already got a pretty good result with one leg. I've gone a bit too far. I'm just going to hold this in place while we get this level. There we go. Okay. So now I'm going to start by lifting the top section first. And it's actually got a spring on the end of each one of these so that you don't smash your camera as it comes down. So here's pole section number 1. You already see there's a bit of wobble, you know, right away. You can tell there's going to always be some wobble with something like this. section number 2. I have no idea if you can still see this, because I'm already quite high up. 2 sections. And I've still got 2 more to go. 3 more to go. And here's the next section. And that's the top height there. I would always pull that back a wee bit. So now we've got, I'm going to tighten these down just a bit more to make sure that we don't have anything that's loose. But I got to say that it's still holding up very well, very sturdy. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. And then finally I'm at the 5th section. I'm actually looking at that and seeing how much, my biggest concern is how much shake there is at the top of that pole. I can tell you there's quite a bit, but it's a long way up. It just means that when you're shooting, you want to be using a very fast shutter speed. So now I'm getting a lot of sway, but I wouldn't want to put too heavy of a camera up there. I have no idea if you can still see the height of that, but that is one very tall stand, sitting at 24 feet up. I would actually even think that I would want to extend all 3 of the legs. I actually do have sandbags that I'll be able to use, that I've already purchased, that I'll be using when on a shoot to help give it more stability. And in fact, once again, I look at that and I think those guy wires are going to come in really handy and probably going to be used quite often. And I can see that the feet seem to have what looks like a guy wire clip on the actual foot, but I've also bought some land pegs, some grass pegs. Now looking at the pole in terms of construction, very well built. And let's see what happens when you drop it down. See, there's a bit of a spring there, so that's actually quite good. So, just bringing everything back down. Very well constructed. And finally, we have the last section. And let's just have a look at this guy wire system. Of course, they give you lots of attention and warnings of these things. That's pretty obvious. Just going to look at one of these cables first. And I'll show you a little bit closer here. It's got the clamp that goes at the very top. And at the bottom we've got a clip buckle. Now, I would think that what I would end up wanting to do is put some kind of obviously land pegs is an easy one to use for this. I'm surprised they're using a cable that's like a cloth cable or a fabric-based cable. But definitely there's no doubt that this is actually going to help keep it more stable. All right, okay. Well, that's all I'm going to do for now, because I think that what we need to do now is actually go and do a proper shoot with it and install a camera on it. And I'll be doing that at a different location where it's more appropriate to do the actual test. I think you'll find that overall this is going to be a very interesting perspective in terms of the images that it'll produce. So hope you find this interesting, and if you've got any comments, please do leave them below, and give us a thumbs up if you like what you've got to see. If you've got questions, by all means ask, because I'm more than happy to share my experiences with you. Thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed.